We just had a really fun executive roundtable. Executive roundtables are sessions that we host once a month. They're for executive and senior leaders. And during this time, we talk about what's going on in our companies, what's happening in the industry, and what are we seeing that are some of the biggest pain points and ways to address them. So every month we do these. We don't charge for them. We do it for our network, and we do it to increase awareness of what Active Choices is up to in the marketplace right now. If you're interested in joining one in the future, I'm going to put one right here. But we had one this morning, and this morning's forum was about how do you prioritize creating sustainable and real transformation in your organization. How do you make that a priority? And then how do you actually make it so that it's authentic and it's sustainable, so that you're not continuously playing whack-a-mole with your culture change initiatives, culture change training, change management, any of that stuff. You're able to just have a very intimate conversation. And we had companies that were anything from very, very large travel organizations to smaller marketing and PR organizations and to a museum. So some of the things to consider thinking about, some of the nuggets that really stood out for me is, first of all, we talked about the absolute nonlinear process of culture change. Part of when people talk about creating culture change, they often think that their culture's here, they want it to be there. And so they think it's going to be like this straight line. And one of the metaphors that came up was an airplane is flying from Texas to California. It knows that it wants to go here. It's starting here. It's going here. But along the way, it's going to get off path as it goes. So this is the same thing with culture change. You're going to get off path. You may have a vision. I hope you have a vision of what you want your culture to look like and feel like. But it's not going to be a linear situation. You're going to be kind of all over the place. You're going to have a lot of turbulence. You're going to have it where your culture drops and things don't feel as good. The energy of your culture drops. You're going to have it where it feels really, really great. And part of creating real and authentic culture change is to be able to really be aware that that is at play. That's what's actually happening. And that it's okay to befriend it versus get frustrated by it or resist it. We talk about conflict and how in culture change, you're going to hit conflict in any kind of change management as you're expanding your organization, as you're shrinking your organization, as you're reorganizing, you're going to hit conflict. You're going to hit tension points. And this is not a problem as long as you're really intentional and present to what the conflict is, and you're actually very intentionally moving through it. So we talked about this as an important piece. So don't be afraid of it. You know, it's going to be up and down. No, it's going to be all over the place. Befriend that. Befriend that. Don't be afraid of it. Befriend it. And then take full radical accountability for making sure that you're showing up as a leader in the organization and contributing to creating the change you want in the way that's most going to serve your organization, your workforce, and your people. So we talked about that. So we talked about really culture change is an individual game. Well, culture change happens culturally. It's systemic. It's something that we all create together. Really, at the end of the day, I've been doing this work for over 23, 24 years now. And no matter how many times we try and look at culture change, the most effective, quickest, direct line to creating sustainable change is to make sure that you are looking at change at the individual level and that everybody is enabled and given the tools and the awareness to be able to show up with really clean intentions, energy, and presence to hold their own energetic field, is the way we refer to it, to hold their own presence and to be able to come from an intention of being in service and creating what they want to create in culture together. So you have to start with the individual. People are running into the fact that their senior leaders don't think that they need to do the work, or that they, or leadership or people or whoever don't think that they need to work on themselves. They don't want to do the work on themselves, but they want to create culture change. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So that was a very, very big theme that came up today as we had some really incredible human beings talking about the big bumps they're hitting in their organizations around creating change. And it has to happen at the individual level. So that's another piece. The way that we do that is through the IEP methodology, where we train the individuals in the workforce and teams and senior leadership. We train them how to really get solid in their IEP, their intentional energetic presence, and the leadership skills that go with that, so that they're better able to hold their space. They're more resilient. They can think more clearly, they can make better decisions, and they're more effective at collaboration with the rest of the organization. So it has to start individually. Culture transformation, it's not like you get there and you go, cool, we're done, we're set, we're just going to rest on our laurels now. It is ever evolving. And so therefore, this has to be something that is in our awareness every single day. What is the culture we're actually creating? And how am I individually as a leader or an employee, human being, wherever you're coming from, how am I actually showing up to create the change that I say is so important? If you are truly devoted to your organization, if you're truly devoted to creating a healthy workplace, if you're truly devoted to creating a positive energy workplace, healthy relationships, trust with your consumers, like that came up a lot today too, the impact of trying to build trust with a consumer if your culture is not healthy, and it doesn't work. So we talked about all that. And then we talked about ways that we can help. Those are some nuggets. I hope that provokes a little bit of food for thought for you and is helpful to you in your day-to-day. Please take this video and use it as a reset for yourself to just kind of take a step back and look at how am I personally creating the culture that I say I want to or don't want to be a part of? How am I prioritizing culture change? Are we really actually making a dent? Or are we just going through the motions? Are we hitting culture at a surface level? That's another thing I'm seeing. Lots and lots of culture at a very surface level, checking the box. Oh, well, we did this for culture change, so we can check that off now. It doesn't work. It's temporary. So we're, my team, Active Choices, we are truly here to help create sustainable and real change where your people can thrive and be happy, and you thrive and be happy and fulfill the work that you're here to do and your purpose and feel good and it feels light. And we all work together in really beautiful ways. And that's what we're here to do. So if you're interested in joining a forum, please do go ahead, request an invitation. We have some really fun things coming up in April. We've got an open house for private clients or clients that worked with us in the past. We're going to do a reset for all of you and show you what you could do now to build on top of what you've already done. That's on April 4th. That's by invitation only. We're going to do an open house on April 25th for everybody. So you can just come and learn, like, what in the world are they doing talking about energy in an organization? What they're talking about culture energy in a different way than some of the other companies out there are talking about culture energy. In fact, some of the research companies even. So come and we'll talk about that on the 25th. And then on the 18th, we're doing a very fun panel with 4 different companies. We're gonna have leaders from 4 different companies who've been integrating this work. And we're gonna have the opportunity to talk with them and just discuss some of what they're learning, what they've seen, how they've used it and whatnot. So the month of April is kind of a show and tell and a connection month. So join us. We'd love to have you. You can sign up for anything right here. If you are anxious to have a conversation sooner than that, if you'd like to just dive in and explore what we can do and how we might be able to help you, or you want to have a conversation about what we just talked about, go ahead and send a note to this and we'll get you set up. Okay, take care. Have a beautiful day. Bye.